One of the problems, or the main problem that CEOs tend to tell me, is that they want to change staff behavior. And I get that. What that question, or what that query usually revolves around, is this issue of strategy and execution. You see, the CEOs will spend all of this time and money executing or trying to execute a strategy which they've developed with their board and their senior managers. You know, they've done the whole weekend away thing, and they do that once or twice a year, and then a whole lot of stuff trickles down, and then they get frustrated that it hasn't actually caught with the coal face, with the people who are actually serving the customers. Why is that so? Now, I've done over, well, not personally, but my company's done over 300,000 mystery shopping evaluations of customer service and sales. And we can see what works and doesn't work. There is this disconnect. There's this going off on different paths. Strategy one way, execution another. Sometimes they're close together, sometimes they're pretty far apart. Why is that so, considering all the time and resources that go into bringing the two together? There are two things missing. I'm going to deal only with the second one today. The first one, though, just briefly, is purpose. What purpose does your company have? Now, I know your company is there to make money, but what purpose does it have in the consumer's mind and your staff member's mind beyond your money-making objectives? Because those objectives don't matter a single little bit to these other groups. Staff and customers don't care less about your objective of making money. So we'll tackle that one next. But for now, we're going to talk about personality. You see, personality is really interesting for a brand because when you look at it, brands themselves have a personality. You think of Virgin Airlines, you think of BMW, you think of even Google and Apple. They've got their own personality, and sometimes you can't quite put your finger on it, but you know that there's a certain feel about it. It's the same as our staff members and our customers. They also have their own personalities, obviously. But the difference between them and the company is that these are real people, also obviously. And you can kind of treat them together because the question then becomes, how do you look at the personality of an individual, whether they're a staff member or a customer? How does that personality come through and affect our execution of strategy? So if you look at them, you think, well, okay, firstly, what does personality mean? The personality I'm talking about is not whether they're happy-go-lucky or they're happy or they're sad, but it's all about their subconscious buying behavior. What's going on in the core of their subconscious mind, their reptilian brain, call it that if you like. It's the automatic reactions. It's like when you see the shadow, you jump. You don't think about these things. These are all back of mind. They're happening very, very, very quickly. What happens with regards to the subconscious when it comes to a customer service or sales position or opportunity? Now, it's actually more important than we think. We kind of think of people as being objective buyers of things. Well, if everyone was objective, they'd all be driving around in the cheapest car, the cheapest house. They'd be shopping in stores without all the grand architecture. They'd be just going shop price, and they're not. We know they're not. It's the same for staff members. If everyone was working for money, they wouldn't be working probably for you. There's always someone who's going to pay that little bit more, and yet they're working for you. So why is that? What's holding these people to you? What part of their personality is actually taking root here and keeping them with you? Well, you've got to understand what that personality is to connect with them. So think of buying a house. You buy a house and you walk in, you park the car, you walk up the driveway and you see trees and birds are singing, but then you hear a car screeching in the background, and then you might hear a kid crying in an apartment building next door or something, and you start to get a feel for the ambience of the place. You emotionally connect before you do anything else. After you've emotionally connected, you start to get all the practical things come in, the front of mind, conscious mind stuff of price, money, rent, taxes, and all those things come into play. And once those things marry in with your subconscious, if they are close enough, you'll get a purchase decision. It's the same even with dishwashing liquid. You don't actually make a decision in that case. There's nothing practical to think about. It's all automatic. It's like moving from the shadow. It's just you go to the shopping center, you get the washing liquid, you put it in your trolley, and off you go. It's automatic, it's subconscious, it's in the back of your mind. That's all part of your subconscious buying behavior. So to better understand customers and staff and how this subconscious works, what we've done is put together with a group called Neuropower and categorized the subconscious buying behaviors into 9 categories. It's basically a grid of 3 by 3. And we look at the different personalities and how they are affected by, or how they affect your buying behavior and actually your whole, how you live your life, your relationships with other people, because these become really important, especially for staff members and leaders. So we can actually categorize now, and I'd like you to have an opportunity to do this for yourself, categorize the staff and the customers into groups. And you can even do it on massive scale for your customers. And we'll show you how to do that another time. But for now, let's focus on you. What is your personality? So what I'd like you to do is I'd invite you to take this short survey, just pop your name in and your email address. We'll send you a link. It's a private link because normally this thing's charged at fee for public events and for some of our clients. So for you, I'm going to just make it available for free. I'll email it to you. All you need to do is fill out, it's about 9 questions. It'll take you about 2 or 3 minutes. And at the end, it's going to spit out, it's a quite detailed personality profile. It will blow your mind. It blew my mind the first time I did it because it actually worked. A, it worked, but B, the detail that goes into it, it does blow your mind. So I'd like you to do that for yourself, because by doing that, you'll start to understand better the level of detail that we and you can go to in understanding the customer and your staff. It's almost possible to read your customer's mind. And if there's anything more valuable than that, I'd like to know what that is. Because then what you can do is you can position your company purpose, which again we'll deal with another day, and its personality with your customers, and you can find out exactly how to make those two come together. And also your staff. Your staff will then come together and you'll get the 3 of them happening nicely, or much more precisely than you do at the moment, where they're just all higgledy-piggledy everywhere. So I'd invite you to take the survey and have a think about what that means for you, and then we'll tackle the purpose of your company.